Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy,
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
your Narcelle-sized podcast.
Happy
What?
Star Trek Day.
Oh,
However
my bad.
big nacelles,
Nacelle,
nacelles, however big they are.
Nacelles.
like a narwhal cell.
Yeah,
See, it was
narwhals.
like our the we don't do the opening anymore podcast.
Yeah,
Right? Till Guy fixes them, which started out with, oh, this will be easy. I'll do this really quickly. And then it was a mess. And so I'm still doing it, which
It's like
is
any other project; it always takes longer and is more involved than you think.
Yeah, it's one of those things we always talk about, and just doing 1 ounce of prevention. Save yourself a lot of time. And a lot of the problems I'm doing is like, if I hadn't done it this way, I wouldn't have to be redoing it right now.
Right? Yeah. I remember one time. One of the things I can think about that immediately comes to mind is when I was unemployed for a while, a few years ago, and like I was like, how long can I decided to set it up like my job hunting search in like an Excel spreadsheet. And
Fair.
it took long enough that I was like, I really should have done this as an Access database. This is
Yep.
way too fucking cumbersome now as a spreadsheet. What the fuck?
Yep. I've done that exact thing where I'm like, this should have been an Access database.
Yeah.
We need a t-shirt that says this should have been an Access database.
Whoa. Merch. It's crazy.
Merch.
Anyway,
Geek
we weren't here last week because we were all recovering from con.
yes.
Yeah.
And non-descon. If you're
Reconvering.
nasty. But or NDK if you're nasty. I don't know. And I definitely think we should touch on that, and then we should talk Star Trek because it is
International Star Trek Day. It's Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
It's Star Trek Day.
May the Force be with you. Oh,
And then that's how
national?
Alex got beat up again.
Is it national or international?
I think it's national because
I don't know.
it was
Trekkies
the,
are pretty international. So
yeah, but it's in celebration of the first episode being aired,
right? Yeah.
and I don't
Right.
think it was aired internationally at the time. I don't know. Who cares?
no, in fact, Canada got it 2 days earlier. They keep reminding us that every time.
Damn.
So
You got-
like
you got
it's like
dunked
the
on.
big thing. Yeah,
You got
Canada got it
dunked
2
on,
days
son.
earlier. So
That is-
Star Trek Day was 2 days ago in Canada.
Happy
See,
Star Trek Day, eh? I love
you
it.
know- 2 days before Star Trek was released here, a shipment of like 40 gallons of maple syrup showed up at Gene Roddenberry's house.
Right?
We want to see it early, eh?
A.
But yeah.
Let's talk about the
so
con.
Let's talk. I mean, Guy, how was your con? It was a different role for you, wasn't it?
It really was. I'm no longer a director. I stood down. The year before last, I stood down, but last year I was sort of still in the half role, sort of kind of doing the stuff and everything. And then this year I was actually a guest. My badge even said guest. It wasn't even, I wasn't even really supposed to do anything. So I only did small things, a lot of small things, but but that's okay. It was actually fun. I got to do stuff and participate. I got to go to karaoke for the first time in like ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I have decided though, as much as I absolutely love karaoke, my voice cools off between song sets all the time. So I'm kind of thinking, hey, we should do karaoke sometime where it's like limited to 6 people or something so that we can get through everybody more than one song every 5 hours.
So the thing that I discovered on Saturday, I think it was Rock Band is set up in the VGR room, and they have a much tighter rotation of singers than karaoke does.
Yeah.
So I was saying perhaps we should do some karaoke there.
There you
While
go.
other people hit buttons on guitars and drums and stuff.
Where they're happy as clams doing that, yes.
Well, the drums now are a MIDI drum set. It's an actual
okay.
kit.
That's right. And there's some really fancy ones out there because I remember our director Jeremy having a really fancy drum kit with all the extra hi
The
hats.
same one.
Okay, so yeah.
It's the same MIDI drum kit nowadays.
Okay.
Because it used to be the Rock Band drum kit, then the Rock Band drum kit plus cymbals, and now it's a MIDI drum set.
Right.
I just need to get a list of the songs ahead of time, I think, so I can have my playlist and not be wasting time looking through the directory.
Yeah, the in-game directory is cumbersome. We have plans to get it all up on a Google Doc, and then on the Rock Band rules, just have a CAPTCHA,
Right.
and that way people can sit there and just look at the complete list on their phone.
Mhm.
It is a good kit,
Peter, my
Jeremy.
director. Hey,
Yay!
my admiral.
It's a good kit.
A captain, my captain.
Admiral.
And
Admiral, my admirable. But
Anyway.
yeah, I'm thinking that the turnaround time for singers is probably pretty tight on there.
Yeah, lots of
'Cause
people don't like to sing on Rock Band.
I feel like I only saw like 15 people at most, kind of even there.
Yeah.
With the 4 that were doing the parts and the thing. Oh, it's already on
Okay.
Google Doc.
Yeah,
That's
so
not
now
a-
we just need to I was gonna as we talk some business. I did want to get a couple of new signs made, and one of them would be a new Rock Band rules sign, which with the CAPTCHA bug on it, to people can sit there and while they're waiting in line. Yeah, you're the admiral. I'm the captain of the ship. You're the admiral. You're in charge of
Just
many
saying.
captains.
You know what that makes me? I'm like the plucky
Shmee.
civilian that shows up now. Sweet.
Yeah. We're Firefleet.
Right. I'm totally like, that's my job. I show up and go, but we have to get the Quadriticale to
Are
the
you-
planet. And I know you have a mission, but
Are
you
you
can't
sure?
disrupt
Are
it.
you sure you're not the comic relief?
I'm always the comic relief.
Then the question becomes: are you the plucky comic relief that gets killed, or are you the one
What?
that?
What's my
fun-
last name?
That's right. What's my last name? I don't know, guy. What is your last name?
What's my
No.
last name? Yes.
Anyway,
But yeah, we should go do we should make a rotation to go hit the Rock Band thing to warm our voices up with like 4 or 5 songs, and then go do 1 or 2 songs at karaoke since they have that huge
yeah.
long rotation.
Or
of
sign up
time.
for a song at karaoke, then come play some Rock Band. Then go
Or
back to
something.
karaoke.
back and
as
forth.
if I don't get enough steps already during con.
I
Yeah,
know.
my between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, my low day was 17,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was mostly hitting 20 and 25.
My watch died, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Too many steps.
Too
I'm
many
out.
steps. You're on
So,
your
Yeah,
own.
well.
what else did you do, Guy? I mean, you were a guest. So what'd you do as a guest? Tell us.
So as a guest,
We've
I had
never
3
been
panels.
guests at NDK.
I know.
so.
I know. Never been guests at our own convention. I had 3 panels. So Dr. Friedman and I both sort of like to do this thing, apparently, of just sending a
Odd.
zillion panels to Amanda, and then she just picks them. And so we're always kind of somewhat surprised. But the one that I really was glad to see was that I had this K-Tora panel, or Keiji Dosha, and so on K-Cars in Japan, which are the little teeny yellow plate cars that I love so much. And I was like, oh, look, this is going to be so much fun, but nobody's going to show up. And the room was half filled.
Nice.
Like it was, and it was
Or
not
was
just
it half
any room.
empty?
Right. It was half empty. And so the room was half empty, but it was panel room 1, which is the big room. And they were asking me about displacement, and they were asking me about carburation and
Questions you can answer.
turbocharges and things like that. I mean, like appropriate questions for this. And there were all these discussions going on. And I was like, wow, this is much more than I expect. So it was like well received. My Kudo panel is always a well-received panel. So that was cool. And then I did how we used to do animation, and that was a well-received panel. So I did, animation in the old days, and I brought some cells in and stuff like that so people could see how it used to be done.
Cool.
I was going to bring
flip books.
Yes, flip books. I was going to bring in that background that I've got. I've got a background from 80 Police Files. So I've got one of the backgrounds. Yeah. I was going to put it in that frame that you had given me, Alex, the one that was 2 layers of, well, not
Mhm.
2 layers of glass, but plexiglass, and you know what happened to that thing? It fell off the wall and shattered.
Oh
The
fuck!
little hanger on the back just gave up.
Failed. Oh,
So like I'm kind of glad you didn't put anything in there because the picture was undamaged. So it didn't damage the picture, but if it had been a cell, it would have damaged the cell pretty
right.
badly. So I'm kind of glad that
Yeah.
it sacrificed itself on, because that was just a painting and it was fine. But yeah, it fell off the wall and I was like, well, that's a thing, but it did that
Yeah.
before. So I didn't take it with me to the con because I was like, I don't want to get the glass and mess
Yeah.
with that. So I just kind of had to clean that up. And then
How
I
was
was
the
like, I don't want to.
animation panel? Was it good? Well
Yeah,
attended?
yeah, that
Yada
one
yada.
went well. I feel like that one was the weakest one of the three for me. I hadn't quite warmed up yet for some reason. I'm not sure what the story was, but I hadn't warmed up yet. And then I by the Kudo panel, I had gotten into that groove where I'm making jokes and everybody's like, I love going to your panels because you're funny. And I was okay, you know, so that was cool. And then yeah, so it was really cool. And then the only regret I had is that both Dr. Friedman and I had put a panel with Dr. Friedman and Guy, so and neither one of them got selected, so we didn't get to do a panel together. Usually that's always a riot whenever the two of us are together because we get like this sort of interesting synergy, but we always kind of do a whatever, just ask us anything, AMA. And that's we'll tell anything about Japan. But I was in her the panel on going overseas and working overseas, and so she kept referring to me on getting a job
Mhm.
in Japan and stuff like that. So that was cool. So it was really cool, and I got to talk to people. I got to go around and chat. You know what I mean? Like, had time to actually have long, meaningful conversations with people that literally I've known for almost 30 years. And, I don't do the stay up until 2 a.m. talking to people anymore because I fall asleep at like midnight now because, whatever, old. So it's kind of nice to be able to kind of catch up with these people and talk to them again. And I got to go to the memorial at well, I do that every year anyway, but
Yeah, I missed
um,
it this year. I'm sorry.
it's all right. We've got a new setup for it, which really turned out to be kind of cool. But all weekend long was an ongoing running gag with Armstrong, the director, who, because he was like, "You're out of uniform," and he was like constantly critiquing my uniforms, and I was like, "This is so Trekkie. It's just so Trekkie."
Nerds.
And yeah, it was a nerd thing. It was such a nerd thing, and it was funny because I'd say that, and people would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and no, 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 don't. This is a thing. It's you do a thing with somebody, and then just to complain about it. That's the whole point. Like, I loved it. I loved the nerddom there and everything. And so I helped with the flower arrangement group and stuff like that. And I actually got to talk to them in Japanese, which was really good. My Japanese is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. See you later, Jeremy. So that was cool.
Now we can talk about him. No,
Now we can talk about Jeremy, everybody.
That guy did so much
Um,
cool stuff for my room this year. It's crazy.
yeah, that guy's kind of cool though. I like him. But don't tell him that. He'll get a big head about him and stuff. It'd be weird. So anyway, but yeah, so that was where I was. That was my weekend. I took lots of pictures. I got to hang out with people, got to talk to people. It was cool. Next year I will probably do ethnographies because that was one of the things I really wanted to do but didn't, which was just study the people. So that'll be fun. So what'd you do, Alex?
So I'm the head of the video game room, and we did video game stuff. The theme this year for the convention was retro. So we brought a bunch of personal equipment and
Yep.
had a bunch of. So we had a bunch of retro systems on the floor. We had some of the new kind of retro emulated systems on the floor. Um, we actually had this year was I mean, every year we buy more stuff. So this year we Jeremy got us a bunch more TVs. So we actually had enough TVs to kind of do something that I wanted to do with the space when we first got it. When I was first looking at how big it was and going, Jesus Christ, how did I fill this up? And it was to make, instead of being like, here's the console area and it's like this big rectangle or whatever, to actually have like pods spread around the room. And that worked out really well. And we had like Jeremy actually did like a little retro station. He found like a TV cabinet, like the big thing of furniture that the TV resides in. He
I
gutted
love
it
that thing.
of electronics and put in a arcade replacement screen, different new speakers, and modern hookups. And then and we had a bunch of retro systems on that. I have a picture of somebody cosplaying Waluigi playing Super Mario Brothers. And I'm like, I get this picture. He's like, I'm regular Luigi. I am not Waluigi. It was pretty funny. There's other, like, tons of people played that. We also contracted out to like an arcade thing. So they had like Giant Galaga, Giant Pac-Man, air hockey, some other arcade games and pinball games. Was really sweet. And we had mech pods this year for the first time, which we've been wanting to have mech pods in the room for forever. And so they had a good time. And
Were they
so we are
popular?
looking. They were quite popular. They had a good time. They want to come back. So
Good.
that's really cool. This year I was a little bit. I had the inclination. I had the feeling that if I hopped into a pod, that something demanding my attention would occur. And so instead of being in a pod and having that fire to be put out, I just opted to not go in. But next year, oh yeah, it's happening.
It's on.
But yeah, no, it was good.
I
It was
didn't.
good.
I didn't manage to make it to the pod. So you and I,
You
it's
know,
you and me,
yeah, and me and you,
and
we
me
can
and
blow each
you,
other up together. But
like civilized
yeah, no,
people.
it was really cool. Our arcade stand-ups need some repair, so I've been talking to my director about that, and some other stuff. I want to know what the theme for the convention is next year to see
Yeah.
if we can do a few things. Talking about decorating our room in a certain motif, and video games like Neo Tokyo would be really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, no, some really good ideas this year. Yeah, like it was really funny. Like we did run some modern tournaments, like modern game tournament. We were like half and half, and so we ran like Tekken 8, which was well attended. Because last year was all Smash Brothers. We only did Smash
Hmm.
tournaments. And so this year we did Tekken 8. We did City of Wolves, which wasn't that well attended, unfortunately. Actually, no, we tried to do City of Wolves and it didn't work out, so we did something else. And then we did Mario Kart World, which only had like 4 people show up,
But they were
like the new Mario
intense.
Kart on the Switch
Oh,
2. And yeah, it's like no one showed up to play it, so that was really weird. And like the Ranma 1/2 fighting game tournament that we threw on at noon on Sunday was better attended than Mario Kart World. Like 8 people showed up to that, and so that was wild. But yeah, no, it was a good year. It was a really good year. We didn't have a fridge this year, which was weird, but we made it work. Um, Pachinko, good. Lots of money made for charity. We got Mario Kart Live to work again. It hasn't worked right the last couple of years, but it started working again. So we think maybe it was the VR headset people that we had in there. Just too much spectrum crunch on the data bands.
yeah.
But yeah, so no, it was really cool. I had a really good time. Still doing it. Still looking forward to it. We did our debrief at Dead Dog, and I'll send on the email about that in a few days, and we'll start talking about stuff about what we want/need from Jeremy. How about you, Troy?
Hmm.
How was your con?
Better than last year, which is I think the goal is we want it better every year.
Yeah.
The stuff I expected to work well worked well. Jackbox Games, second year we ran that and had more people. They wanted to keep playing past the time that I had scheduled. So I'm like, I give you guys another half hour, but after that we got to wrap it up. And so did that. Had audio issue problems, but that's just because the speaker I'd brought for some reason wasn't working. But luckily, there's Jackbox Games. You don't have to have the audio if you're familiar with the games, which everybody there was.
Nice.
We brought in a new group to run the TCG stuff for us, and they went over really well. They sold out of all their slots for the Final Fantasy draft that they ran
Mhm.
for Magic the Gathering, and they ran some other games and such too that, from what I heard, went really well.
Cool.
And let's see, I ran my own crazy Magic the Gathering tournament, which was everybody got a little brown paper bag full of bulk Magic cards. And the twist was they were told that if they came with a friend, then they could be partners with that friend. Otherwise, the person they're sitting next to, that's their partner. And they could only trade cards from the bags with their partner. And they were playing Two-Headed Giant.
Nice.
And
Oh,
they all loved it. And at least three, it may have been more, but three for sure, came up to me afterwards and said, "This reminds me of why I got into Magic," which
yeah,
to me was just such a big win.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, I want to run tournaments the way the old Neutral Zone used to run them.
Right.
right.
I want it to be weird and fun. And if you're not there to play Magic and you're just there to win, you're going to not like my tournaments
Right.
because I'm going to go off script. The
Which
Crokin-
does, I've never really liked the spikes that much for that very reason.
yeah,
Because
The,
they're
Cro-
usually just no fun.
no. The Crocono tournament went really, really well. We gave out our first free pass for the convention, which would be 2026. The fun thing with that is, just like last year, and I had more boards set up this year, there was always somebody playing.
Hmm. I noticed that every
and-
time I came in.
Yeah, and so people would come in, and you don't have to check it out. You just sit down and play. And I had this. I'd say the kid was probably in his late teens, early 20s, and the dad was like in our age. And every time they were between panels or something, they would come sit down and play Crocono.
Mm.
And so we talked for a bit, and a few them plus another group said they remembered it from last year, and they were really hoping it was going to be here again this year. And I'm like, you don't have to wait a whole year. There's a Denver Crocono Club you could come to.
So you probably drafted a whole bunch of people for Crokinole.
A few of them live down in Colorado Springs, and I was giving them tips on how to start their own Crocono Club down there.
There you go.
But it was great. My staff ran a few RPGs that got great reviews, D&D games, one shots, and the werewolf game that's become pretty much a standard for Friday, Saturday night. Before I became the area head for the board game room dojo, the guy who's my lieutenant that runs the werewolf game was an attendee, and he would show up and run the werewolf game.
Mhm.
So now he just does it as an official person of the board game room.
Yeah, people love
And
werewolf.
They do. I've only played it a couple times, and it wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
Nope.
Doesn't have to be. I
but
was
let's-
going to run a Besson game, and I didn't because, well,
I-
for
I
multiple
was-
reasons.
I was thinking one of the two things we should have done differently. You wrote Bessem, assuming people knew what that meant.
I should
think
have
you-
written Big Eyes,
Big
Small
Eyes,
Mouth.
Small Mouth. And next time for the
Agreed.
flyer, we should have a little picture of the front cover of the rule book, so people can kind of grasp what they're going to get into. I think that might have been the thing that sabotaged that.
I think so too.
But the things that
I may also do Savage Worlds because I like it, and it's a simpler system. And then just
And
still
more
do
people have
Savage
heard of it.
Worlds Gundam. Yeah, Savage Worlds
Yeah, more
Gundam.
people heard of it.
So it still fits.
Yeah.
But I also have all the rule books for it, so that'd be far easier.
Yeah, but the big thing that I came to realization with, two of them, one before the con started, I'm like, we need to get rid of any games that takes more than 2 hours to play,
Right.
because I don't think anybody's coming there to play Axis and Allies. We don't
Dang it.
have that one, but just as an example. And then also the thing that occurred to me after the convention is I need to break my group into smaller groups. I need to have a head of the library. I need to have a head of this and a head of that, and give people ownership of, like, your job is to check games out and decide what's the best system to set up the games in for checking out.
Mhm.
And just start delegating more, because this is
And just
something
do it.
something Fred has been telling me every year that I've been doing it. He said you need to delegate more. You do too much of the stuff yourself. And it's not a control thing. It's just more of a I don't want to impose on anybody thing, which is
Yeah, I
weird.
know. It is funny because I'm the same way as you are. It's not about control. It's about not being able to communicate with me. I'm so bad at communicating usually that I don't get across what I'm trying to think or what I'm thinking.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Did karaoke both nights. Only stayed for about an hour and a half on Friday because I had to get up early. Saturday was a big day. But then Sunday I had nothing scheduled specifically, so Guy and I went Saturday night. But yeah, the rotation's long because it's really popular.
Yup.
Um,
Which that's fine. I had a lot of fun with the people who were there. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the things. Singing, I did it my way with whoever the guy was with the pink boa. That was just so much fun. I don't even know who he was, but because he disappeared, and that was that. But I was like, I could tell he was the kind of person I'd be like, we'd get along, like we'd be buddies. It'd be a thing. And then that was just, it was fun. And we took our my friend Ren went with us, and apparently the entire con adopted her, and that was very funny. Because now she's like into the idea of coming back and working the con next year and stuff.
Is that KG?
Yeah, KG.
Okay.
Mhm.
You said Ren, which threw me off.
Sorry, KG.
Yeah. I think
I met her as Ren, and now she's
Okay.
going back to her original name.
So yeah, you'll just have to find a group that can adopt her.
Yeah, because she's in a group that's too big at this point in time. You have too many people.
Yeah.
She already said that, which is fine. The museum could adopt her, but she'd be bored. So I don't think that'd be good. So she's not a museum-y.
Anyway, it was great. The staff, the behind the scenes staff did amazing work. Ops, security, logistics, all of them. They're the blood that makes this work.
Yeah.
They're the blood that lubricates the lovemaking. Yeah, that's the reaction I wanted. But yeah, they took really good care of us. And
yeah, and that was also a cool thing to see from the no longer behind the scenes. Like, I knew things were going on in the con because I'm connected to you guys and I will always hear things, but you couldn't see it. With the exception of one glitch, none of it was visible out on the floor. And that was really good. That was really cool. And everything worked, and all the little things moved, and all the pieces went through. It was great. It was awesome.
King sized game, by the way, was won by a woman who has won it twice. So this was her third time.
Ooh.
Rachel. I'm not going to say last name because I don't know if she wants me to or not.
Probably not.
But she covets and wears the crown of King of Dojo proudly. And has a nice little shelf of 3 trophies handcrafted. So other people, we need to get more people playing in the king size tournament to give her some real competition.
Yep, that's kind of cool. I think that's like other things, like the groupies are kind of cool. Like we're seeing repeat things. People who are like, I really want to do this thing in the dojo, or things that like I need to do this thing in VGR, and I'm seeing that all over. There are people who specifically do things. I even have people who come to my panels, like that's their thing. They come to my panels. They're in every one of my panels, even if they're at like the Kudo panel for the 4th time. They still come to my panels, and it was kind of weird. And one of them made me a little plushy sheep. It was very cute. So,
is there a lot of sheep in Kudo?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, typically speaking, we don't, have sheep in there, but the biggest problem is it's hard to get a bow that a sheep can pull. That's the difficulty. But the arrows are typically smaller for a sheep. You know who else is a sheep?
This is the worst transition, and I saw it coming a mile away. It was really bad.
It was, but it's kind of fluffy. Anyway, here we go. Because Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, The Massage Wizard, and Your
angry monkey.
I was thinking
Alex,
more. I was trying to.
Alex,
Huh?
go ahead. Go.
I was trying to be like in Body Snatchers,
Oh,
1970s Body Snatchers.
yeah, the screeching.
Anyway.
Did you? There's a Community episode where they make fun of that, but you're watching Community slowly, so I'm not going to tell you
We
more
haven't
about
started it yet.
it. Okay, fine.
Yeah. So
it is
We
we're
a
almost
really
done
can't
with
give you spoilers then.
yeah, we're almost done with Gravity Falls,
Oh, nice.
and we are in season 5 of Futurama, and we're about 2/3 of the way through season 1 of Batman the Animated Series.
There you go. Wow.
I'm halfway through season 2 of Severed, and there's only 2 seasons.
Ooh.
And in season 2, they started doing some Twin Peaks level. What
I
is going on?
I want to see that show so bad.
Yeah, they didn't do it quite as much in 1, where I wasn't quite really making a connection between the two. But there's some stuff going on now in season 2 where I'm like, yep, just don't bother explaining that. Just let it go.
Yep. No,
It is good. It's good.
Yeah, that's cool. I also at con, like, I hit the dealer's room. I bought myself a new underbust corset, which looks amazing. And I also picked up Akira on Blu-ray and 4K, which my only other version I've had is right there, and that is the Laserdisc Criterion Collection.
Yes.
So that's really good. And so it's the Japanese, the streamlined dub, and then another dub version that was put out for the 2001 release, which is quite good. Quite well acted. Though some of the lines they changed they're probably truer to the original intent.
Yeah.
But certain lines like, it's a damn politicians that got us into this mess in the first place. Man, we're going to the Olympics. That's different now. But
that's fair.
But yeah, no, it's so that was cool. They also had the same shop had they had Vampire Princess Miyu on DVD, $50 for each OAV. So $50 for OAVs 1 and 2, and $50 for OAVs 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm like, no way. So I actually like I'd already looked it up, and I knew it was a lot less than that. But of course, Animego, the company that first brought Miyu over, as well as other things, that they lost a lot of their rights to stuff. But
Right.
they they got picked up by some other larger umbrella company. But they still have stuff for sale on there, including things like a writing bean and stuff I haven't thought of in decades. But they have Vampire Princess
Writing
Miyu.
Bean is so. I think I'm having like a resurgence to Writing Bean. I don't know. So many cars. Obviously, it's obviously like a thing where it's like they're into cars.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
So then so I got so I went onto the Animego site and I bought Vampire Princess Miyu discs 1 and 2, so all 4 of the original OAVs, and a samurai movie I've never heard of before, but it's like this. It's based on a book by the same guy who wrote like Twilight Samurai or something.
Okay.
And after shipping, it's like $25. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
So con markup is real.
What I was gonna say,
I guess,
was that Alex, myself, and Lauren shut down karaoke for Dead Dog.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. People did there was like one round that was fairly robust, and people just left.
Yeah.
And so then we stayed till
Tired.
like 12:30, and we practiced we did some songs we'd never done before. I did like Red Right Hand by Nick Cave, which kicked ass. I think I did a really good job on that one.
And I tried
but the rotation was probably really, really short for that one.
Yeah, it was just us 3, and then the KJ, and their friend. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna be blurry from now on. Apparently,
that's okay. You're out of focus. You're soft focus.
It's like being
now.
Frank, except different.
Putting the Vaseline on the lens type thing.
Yeah,
on the lens.
Like on Star Trek.
There's no use there. But
tell Star Trek folks that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no. Yeah, that was fun. That was really cool. And
I tried.
What were they trying to call it? They were trying to get a move away from Dead Dog Party.
Yeah, they were calling it the after party something, because I remember it being SAP, so SAP or something. And something after
party.
something after party.
Yeah,
There
like
we go.
staff after party or something. But
Staff
like
after party.
the little sign near the door said dead dog.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, and there
all right.
was, I had to go and explain dead dog to KG, so that was really funny. So,
And the last dog has died.
hmm
Yep.
but yeah. So that the con was always, as always, a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there from like Thursday through Monday, which was really nice
Mhm.
because that gave me time to talk to Dr. Friedman, who has been furthering and helping me get my graduate work done,
Oh,
which today I just went to get my cap and gown, so it's real.
nice.
So like we're getting prepped and ready for graduation, but that also means the next step is on us.
Right.
And like that's a thing. And so and I've been communicating with now people overseas in Japan, and we're actually starting that. You can't just sign up for PhD. You have to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's willing to take you on. That's the way it goes. Well, now that's starting to move, but
Okay.
that had to start with a lot of work with Dr. Friedman. I had to like talk to her over the weekend to get everything squared away to figure out what the procedure was and stuff. So she helped a lot with that, as she always does. Of course, she's kind of the reason that I'm doing this in the first place. So it was a couple of NDKs ago when I was sitting talking with her at one point, and she's like, "Have you considered going back to school and finishing your degree and doing all of that stuff?" And so she sort of was the one who put this ball in motion, and she's still got a lot of ownership on it. So like she tell me what's going on, tell me where you are, let's walk through all the steps. So she's very lovely. I just really appreciate her help.
Sweet.
So shout out to Dr. Friedman for being awesome.
Yay.
I mean, everybody knows that, but still,
cool.
kind of nice to be able to say it. So,
all right. Well, let me start up Steam here, and you can start talking about Star Trek. Okay. Ha!
all right.
Kidding.
Maybe they should change the name to something Japanese instead of dead dog. It's just like OEY for celebration.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
That wouldn't be bad. I mean, I
don't
guess
know. Or some variation of that. Or if there's a saying
Inu would not go over so well, I'm sure.
Mm.
Alex knows what I'm saying.
Is that like a
I like the
thing?
fact that it's got an onomatopoeia to it.
No, that's a good one. That's good. You struck the bullseye on that.
That was pretty
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to do yeah, we can't do that.
good. We can't do that.
Though we should. What we ought to
should.
do. Jeremy's not here. So what we ought to do is that you need to make like a chibi dead Shiba Inu pin.
Right?
And we'll make a few
Inu?
dozen of them and just hand them out to like the cool people.
Right.
Oh, they can fall in the category of the unmerited badge that we were talking about.
Right. That'd be funny. Oh yeah, I gotta write that down because that one actually. Now that I said it on a whim, and now actually,
you print them. I've got a button maker on my crew in the dojo.
I mean, I as much as the button makers, like we have them at the library as well. But I'm thinking like, how much would it cost to actually get like cool enamel pins made?
Right. I'm in on this. I'm totally gonna do this.
I will totally pony in some money. I mean,
I'll
hopefully it's not
pony
a
in
ton.
Right.
$3,000.
Yeah.
Well,
a couple $100, sure.
I'm trying to see what
Throw
the
that
quantity
shit in there.
Trying to see what quantity we have to get the 1 penny per thing that it's telling me it costs.
Oh God.
It's like, I know it's not 1 penny a badge. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So for those of you who are wondering about what I just said, Shinu is Japanese for die or to die, and Inu happens to be the word for dog. So dead dog literally translated becomes Shinu Inu. And I'm like, okay, that one's actually cooler than it needs to be.
Something Mork would say.
Yeah. But it's got the automatopoeia. It's got,
It sounds close enough to Shiba Inu that it would
yep,
slip by a lot of people.
yep, yep,
Oh my
yep,
gosh,
yep,
that's a
yep,
good
yep.
one.
That one's
Props,
good.
props to you.
Why,
That
thank
was
you.
well
Thank you.
done.
I,
You don't
I,
often
I,
get that out of me, but that was
I,
good.
I appreciate that. And I wish I'd actually planned it rather than just saying it impulsively, which makes it sound cooler. Anyway, so yeah, it is the anniversary of Star Trek. I mean, we're
Anniversary of the first airing in States.
yes, which is generally known as Star Trek Day. Star Wars Day, of course, is May 4th because of the joke, May the 4th be with you, which works really well. But Star Trek Day is always September 8th because that's the day that it aired in 1966. So, or 67. So that's the airing date of it, and so it's become known as Star Trek Day. And actually, for a few years, Paramount Plus was doing Star Trek Day stuff, which was
Cool.
cool. Like they did, a whole day of live events and stuff. And this time, all we got was the end of all money that I will ever own when Lego announced that they're taking on the Star Trek uh, licensure, and will now be releasing Star Trek stuff, which is literally something I have wanted since I was a child. I mean, like, I used to paint my Lego minifigs with black yolks so that they would be in Starfleet uniforms, and now Lego's just going to make them. And I'm like, well, that's it. I once had money, and now I don't. I'm just going to like, I know it. There's nothing I can do about this. It's a thing. So, but that was today's big news for the Star Trek world, which, since a lot of Trekkies are in fact Lego maniacs, that's not actually a bad thing. Lego knows what they've got, though. This is going to be a thing. This is like taking on but somebody had said, now it was actually funny because they're like, now the old war of which is better, Star Wars or Star Trek, can now be which Lego set is better, Star Wars or Star Trek. Thus evolving to that. So anyway, that's a thing. Star Trek is rapidly, I believe they're really, really close to 1,000 episodes.
Oh, nice.
And Star Trek, because I think we are really, really, really close at this point in time. So, because this is old, 4 years ago. Because the problem is that we just had an episode drop last week, and this week, yeah, we're okay. So we're not quite there yet. So we're still quite close, but we're
if you count all the
almost at
fan
the point.
stuff, if you count all the fan made stuff, you're there.
Yep. But only if you count. But we are right on top of 1,000 episodes. Which, of course, the next episode of Star Trek is going to be the last episode of this run. So we're going to have another gap. So wherever we end up on this one is going to be where we're going to be for the next like 4 or 5 months.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, that's kind of cool. So nearly 1,000 episodes. Tonight for dinner, our family was trying to catch up on some of the Lower Decks episodes, and the last episode of 5th season of Lower Decks was full of some amazing things, not the least of which was the return of Jolene Blalock, who played T'Pol in Enterprise. That actress never came back to Star Trek. She walked away at the end of Enterprise and never returned, and somehow ended up in this next to the last episode of Lower Decks. And it's still one of those major coups that Mike McMahon came up with and managed to pull it off. So, it's still pretty cool. So it is a big, huge universe. And they've announced a couple of new things that are coming out, including Starfleet Academy, which has been one of those things that has been on the shelf or off the shelf, off and on, since literally Voyager. So it's funny that they're finally managing to make it, because every time they're like, we're going to bring out Starfleet Academy, everybody's like, eh. And they're like, okay. And then we're going to bring out Starfleet Academy.
So I wonder what that's going to be like. Is it going to be like Degrassi Junior High, but Star Trek, or like Riverdale, but Star Trek, or...
I have no idea exactly where they're going to go with this one. I do know it's got a couple of things that are interesting. The way that Discovery ended up on the foot that Discovery ended up on, put them well into the future and had them way past the fall of the Federation effectively. So they restarted the Federation. So this is Starfleet Academy starting there. So this is the first cadets coming out of Starfleet Academy since the fall of the Federation in Discovery's time. So we're in the 31st century. Okay, so it's a long ways of...
I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I do like Star Trek. And so my immediate thought, because I've not kept up with anything recent, my immediate thought is, so when the Federation fell, did it become like crazy fascism mirror universe Terran Empire, or what happened?
No, just they retreated all the way back to Earth, and it was just Earth. It was the Earth Planet Union, so it was just Earth. And Vulcan was on its own, and Vulcan actually renamed itself. So they have a different name in the future because they kind of merged with what was left of the Romulan Empire, and that was kind of cool. I mean, a lot of this, just so much lore that went on in that set of Discovery that ended up being this complicated. But what I am seeing in previews from Starfleet Academy is intriguing. They're showing just single frame pictures, but they say things like, all of these historical figures. And then, like, somewhere along the line, I saw something that said, what happened to Benjamin Sisko? So it's almost like, I wonder if they're going to explore some of the, like the history of Star Trek through the lens of the 31st century looking back. One of the interesting things is they're bringing back the Doctor from Voyager. That one's interesting because there was an episode of Voyager where they had a backup of the Doctor, which ended up trapped or got stuck and brought back almost near this time period. And, that was a great episode of Voyager, but there's a version of the Doctor that lives in the 31st century. So they're going to bring him back and put him into Starfleet Academy. So that brings Bob Picardo's character back. So Bob Picardo is revising that character. Tig Notaro is in it, whom I love. Tig Notaro. She played Jet Reno, the engineer on the Discovery. So she's back. That's going to be fascinating. So
it's going to be live action?
Yeah, it's live action. More interesting is Holly Hunter is the captain. And that is wild to me because Holly Hunter is like an A-list actress. So I'm kind of like, did not expect that. Usually when you get somebody of that caliber, they're Trekkies. And I didn't know that Holly Hunter was a Trekkie. You know what I mean? It's kind of like whenever
I want her to use the same accent she uses in Raising Arizona.
She's using a different accent.
I haven't showed that movie to the kiddo yet, but it's coming.
Yes,
it's coming. But it is interesting because it does. I'm fascinated by that in a way because, like I said, when Whoopi Goldberg joined, she was a Trekkie. and everybody was like, why in the world would you join Star Trek? And she turned out to be Guinan turned out to be an integral part of Star Trek.
Yeah, she said, "Shut your fucking mouth."
Right. But that's so I'm fascinated. I'm curious as to what Holly Hunter's, story is on this one.
Cool.
So that's coming up on the horizon. We have 2 more seasons of Strange New Worlds, but it's been canceled. And the last season is only 8 episodes long. And
Is it going to get you
everybody
to
is
1,000 episodes, or is it still going to fall short?
no. By then we will have 1,000 episodes of Star
Okay.
Trek at that point. But the thing that's interesting about that last 8 episodes is people keep talking about that 1,000 or not the 1,000 episodes, the 8 episodes of the last season. Like, why are we getting shorted on that one? And the thing about Strange New Worlds is we know how it ends. It's like Titanic. You know what I mean? Like, spoiler alert, the ship sinks. Like, spoiler alert, Pike has to go rescue the cadets and get Delta radiation and get put in the BP chair. That's lore. And moreover, they haven't shied away from that. He's been having flash forwards of him in the BP chair all this whole time. I mean, he knows where he's going to end up. So this ends with him. In fact, he tried to avoid it, and they did an entire episode, which was awesome. One of the wildest episodes of Strange New Worlds is really amazing. It's the season finale of season 2, and they redid Balance of Terror, except with Pike as the captain of the Enterprise. And because Pike is a different captain than Captain Kirk, they don't end up doing that. The end result's not the same. And because of that, Spock dies. And the whole point of it is future Pike comes back to talk to current Pike, and future Pike's in a monster maroon. So he's even in the maroon uniforms from the movies. And he comes back and he's like, see, that's the problem. If you don't go sacrifice yourself and put yourself in the BP chair, then Spock dies. And I've tried this 100 different ways. And every time I try this, Spock dies. And it's not about you and me. Spock has bigger things to do. And I'm just like, wow, that's a twist. Because it's all about Spock, which really...
Spock Trek.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, if you look at Star Trek, that makes a lot of sense in a sort of meta way. Leonard Nimoy's Spock is the only character that was in every episode of the original series and in every movie. All the other characters were, because of course, in the first episode, The Cage, Kirk wasn't in that episode, so William Shatner wasn't there.
Sucker.
And of course, all the other characters, Sulu and Scotty and all of them, they show up, but they don't show up until later on in the first season. So it's interesting that, there's always been sort of this unwritten sort of joke that part of the problem, or part that Star Trek is all about Spock. And in a way, Strange New Worlds just validated that with that episode. So it's a big piece of lore. All of Star Trek is an amazing amount of lore, which is why people are so big on canon. And that's why that's such a big thing.
The canon. Sorry.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of the bad guy in Spider-Verse 2.
Right.
The canon.
But still, kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. I was looking up some stuff because some of my fandoms are not nearly. Some of them are as big, and also big, but like some of them aren't. Like the Castlevania. I was looking at it, there's like a Castlevania day. The closest I could find is like a Dracula day. Dracula Day is on like May 26th or something. But I did find a thing saying that according to the original booklet for Castlevania. That game takes place on Easter. That is
That's a certain amount of
hilarious.
appropriate.
I love it.
Yeah,
So,
that's somewhat appropriate there, I think. So that's cool.
yeah, hilarity. Yeah, no, it's
So
cool. No, and like I said, like I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I like it. It's got some good
yeah,
stuff. I've watched, stuff, but cool.
right.
That's cool. You get your Star Trek Day.
Yeah. So the official count, by the way, is 954 episodes as
All right.
of New Life and New Civilization. So Thursday's episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds will be 954 in total.
All right. So make sure you tell us when y'all hit the 1,000 episode mark.
I will.
So I want to know. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, at 10 episodes a season, it's we got 5 more seasons of whatever. So still got another 18 episodes of Strange New Worlds to go, and then we don't know where we're going with Starfleet Academy, but that's all right. We'll see.
I've got a picture I'm going to send you on Facebook from a board game group I'm on where somebody has their entire bookshelf of nothing but Star Trek board games and paraphernalia and such that I thought you'd appreciate.
I would.
Yeah.
So, yeah, happy birthday, Star Trek.
Yeah.
So
good job not dying.
Yeah. Even though it was a little touch and go there for a while, many times. I think that's one of the ongoing kind of, I don't want to say funny, but things that always comes up is there's so many people who are angry about the new Star Trek, and they're always angry about the new Star Treks, and they're always like, no, this is different. And I'm like, guys, I've been a Trekkie since 1975. I promise you, the people who hated Next Gen were just as vocal and just as they've ruined everything and just as everything's destroyed and as you guys are. And and now of course nobody thinks anything about Next Gen being part of the culture and part of the world. Nobody thinks anything about Voyager and Deep Space Nine, but even this is one of those things. When Enterprise was going on, I was one of those people. I didn't like Enterprise. I really didn't, and I was vocal, and I was part of the internet version of the Circle was smaller back then, and they were listening to us, and I still feel bad because during those days, I was one of the vocal ones saying that Berman had destroyed Star Trek. And of course, now looking back on it, Enterprise is great. It's just you kind of have to look at it not with entitlement. I know, weird but true. So and I keep saying, guys, if you don't like Star Trek, don't watch it. But if you keep whining enough, they'll dump
what
it.
I have to complain about.
Right, but then they'll dump it, and when they do, we don't get any Star Trek. And I've said that before, and people are like, well, it'd be better that way. And I'm like, you are aware that some of us actually like this, right? We like Star Trek, so we like the new stuff. So, you're literally saying, I don't like it, so nobody should have it. Literally what you're saying. Literally. It's so frustrating. But I'm seeing that in all the fandoms. I'm seeing that in the Star Wars fandom. I'm even seeing that in the Doctor Who fandom. I'm seeing it everywhere. You get these people who are like, I don't like this, therefore I'm going to actively destroy it so it will not be there anymore. And I'm like, why can't you just walk away? Just walk away.
That would denote a level of maturity.
It would also denote that they're not the center of the universe. And
what?
I know, weird, but true. Hey, Trekkies who don't like the new Star Trek, you're not the center of the universe. If you don't like it, walk away.
Didn't all the old Star Trek that they like just vanish off the face of the earth, and now they don't have anything?
They don't have anything.
Yeah.
859 or 959 episodes, guys. Go watch the first 400. Leave me alone.
Or whichever ones don't offend you by having too many non-white people in it, or whatever.
Or whatever's the story. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, yeah. Oh wow, I didn't realize this, but it was 726 episodes are on the original set. So you could go watch those 726 episodes. They're all the episodes that, in fact, the bulk of Star Trek is older stuff. So you could go watch all those. And I can watch all of them because I love them all. I'm a Trekkie. And that pretty much wraps our show. Any final statements you guys want to make on Star Trek? Did you spin up Steam?
No, I said I was joking.
I know you were.
If I had, I would have been like,
I do want to say one last real quick thing. And that is No Man's Sky's newest update is insane. Oh my God. You can make your own ships now and other people can crew them.
Oh no.
So when you play multiplayer now, you just load them up in the back of your ship and they've got other jobs to do on the ship now. Like they can run the scanners and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've got this beautiful picture of my kid and now you can do spacewalks. So you can open up the back door in space and they can walk. So I've got this great picture of me standing on my ship and my kid outside waving at me, floating in space.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay.
As you fly away and leave them.
I'm like, bye.
One thing I thought was pretty funny is I saw somebody commenting on how like what kind of future is Star Trek anyway, and like it does talk about the war, the post scarcity, and but they're also like, I don't know, like a lot of the jobs I see on the ship is just like I'm looking at this screen all day on my shift. I'm like, ugh. That sounds somehow worse than what I'm living through, at least with my job. At least I can get up and walk around.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be, like, you know, now that I'm doing science and actually doing like real science, like it's supposed to be done. There's a lot of stuff you do just doing stuff that you'd think that wouldn't be, you know, like, what do you do, guy? I talk to people. Really? Yeah. How is that like a job? Well, I've got to record all the information. I've got to correlate the information and I've got to kind of look for questions to ask them and patterns. Like we're kind of looking for pattern recognition and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot to do. But if you just boil it down to all guy does is talk to people, then it makes it sound like I just don't do anything. But there's a whole lot to do. So I think that if you think that those scientists are maybe looking at a screen, but they may also be doing an analysis on a thing, and they're like waiting for that one piece of data to go, that's it. Finally, my theorem has been proven. You know, I've been waiting all day for that number to show up to prove my theory, you know, and that actually is kind of exciting. Like, I could see doing that and like actually legitimately doing that. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay.
Yep.
I'm done.
Okay, we're done here. Pirate Fest, 2 weeks, North Glen. Woot.
And the day before, Friday at my place, right?
Yep.
You get
Friday
that?
at your place.
Got it.
Okay.
This weekend is Sakura Fest as well, which is a small size Sakura Square Japanese festival. So if you're interested in going, that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Something also to look forward to. I'm going to head there on Friday, I think. So
yeah, I got MHC Con Ops that Saturday.
Yeah.
Our Con Ops party.
Yar. Also, IACon is coming up soon too, so that's also in like I think just a couple of weeks. So we're down to the wire on that one. So talk to us if you want to join IACon. And I think that's it. I think we're done. I think
let's go.
Out of stuff. So since that's all the time we have for today, thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Until then, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.